All right, so today we're gonna talk about the 6 questions you should ask a real estate agent when you are thinking about selling a home. I'm a real estate agent here in Northern Virginia, and I can answer any real estate question you have. So if you have something, comment below. Doesn't matter what state you're in. But let's just get right into it. So the other day I was on an appointment with somebody, and they were thinking about selling their house, and they said they were interviewing a couple different realtors, and they actually said to me, they're like, we've never sold a house before, we're not sure what to ask. And it got me really thinking, and I actually told them, I was like, hey, this is what I would ask somebody else, because I just was like, whatever, I can help you out. I said, this is what I would actually ask another realtor, and then I gave them the answers to what I would do for the job. And then I thought to myself, I'm gonna make a video on this, so let's just get right into it. The number one question you're gonna ask is, how long have you been in the business? Real estate has a lot of people that come in that are brand new to the business, and they don't know a lot about marketing, the things and ins and out of the transaction, what to do, how to put the house on the best with best pictures and all that stuff. And they also don't have a huge budget that it can take to sell a house. Even though, you might say, hey, Chris, these houses are selling in 48 hours, but there's still a lot of costs that go inside of it. So the main thing is they got to really know how to talk to other realtors and all that stuff. So if they haven't been in the business that long, it doesn't mean they're a bad agent. They may just not know what to do as much. And if they've been in the business for 30 years and they've sold, 3 houses in that 30 years, it doesn't even matter. So make sure you really tune in on their experience. The next thing is, what is your marketing strategy? Now, most realtors are just going to put the house in the MLS, which will put it on Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, all these sites. That's all they're going to do. You know what? You've got to hire a professional writer, have a video done, have professional photography done, pay all these websites like Google and Zillow extra money to push your house to the top, and see what type of feedback you're getting. There's so many things that you wouldn't realize go into selling a house. It's not just like HGTV or $1 Million Listing. I love Ryan Serhant, but it's not one of those things where you're just throwing it in the MLS and then you think, oh, it just sells. It definitely is a lot to do, so they got to have a good written marketing strategy. Number 3, am I locked in? So by law for your state, whatever your state, I'm sure you've got to sign some type of listing agreement. No agent would do it without that anyways, but am I locked in? When someone signs an agreement with me to sell their house, they're not locked into it. They can cancel anytime. I don't charge them any money or anything like that. People have called me before and said, hey, Chris, you know what? My house isn't selling, or I made a mistake. I hired this realtor I don't really like. We're not getting along good. What can I do? And we're not really supposed to tell them what to do. So I just say, hey, let me know if you have any issues. And a lot of them shock me. They say, hey, the agent said I have to pay a couple $1,000s to get out of this deal, or I can't get out of selling my, with the agreement with them, and I'm stuck in it. So that's why it's one thing I definitely would ask. Hey, you know what? You want me to sign a 4-month agreement? That's fine. But in 2 months from now, if the house isn't selling, or if I haven't heard from you in 30 days and I'm pissed off because my house isn't selling and I just not getting any communication, what does it cost to cancel? And if they say, oh, it's a couple grand, that's something you got to decide. Is that someone you want to be stuck with? Or do you say, hey, you know what? I want you to sell the house. I want you to be able to cancel it for free. So that's something that you want to think about. I'm not saying either or is good or bad. That's something that with me, you can cancel anytime. All right, really important. So how did you come up with the value of the house, right? So did they just go on Zillow, look at the Zestimate and just take a guess? We all know Zillow got out of the home buying business because they were making so many bad decisions based off of their Zestimate. So did they just go look at your Zestimate? Because I've seen the Zestimate be way high and I've seen it be way low. So did they do that, or did they actually put in the time, go through your area to similar homes that are similar square footage, similar bedrooms, bathrooms, age, all that stuff? Or do they just print off a little quick sheet of your bedroom? It actually takes a lot of work and time to price out a house, what it will sell for. Because if you go too high, you can actually have it sit on the market, it won't sell. If you go too low, you might sell it too cheap. But one of the problems is a lot of these agents don't know how to price a house well, and then it doesn't actually appraise even if it does sell. So you got to look through it as well and say, okay, you know what? Did they take the time? Did they bring me a nice CMA, it's called, competitive market analysis, showing me what the house is worth? How did they come up with this value? Are these comparable houses? Did they sell in the last 90 days? That's what an appraiser is going to look at. Appraiser typically only really cares about square footage and then a couple of the updates and all that. So what type of work did they put in to figure out the value of the house so you know what type of money you are getting for the property? Really important one, right? Last but not least, really, really important. What is your plan once the house goes under contract? So think of it from a sales point. You put the house on the market, I'm a real estate agent, you get it under contract, and you're like, oh my God, you know what, I'm done, on to the next deal. No, there's so many things that happen when you put a house under contract. You've got to go submit it to the office, submit it to title companies, make sure all the deadlines are met. So what is their action plan? Do they have a company that helps them with that? Do they do it on their own? Is the house going to go under contract and you're never going to hear from them again? What happens if the deal falls out? Do you have a plan to call other people that were interested before in the house? All those good things. So you really want to know, do they have a written plan? Do they have a plan of action once the house goes under contract, what they're going to do to get that house smoothly from contract to closing? Because most houses take anywhere from 30 to 60 days to go to closings. That's something that I definitely would ask them. And you want to make sure, because they got to have a plan in place. And that's why it really helps to find someone experienced to get into real estate. All right, finally, number 6, you got to have a good feeling about the person. Because you know what? You're going to be together with them for a long time. Maybe, depending on how long a house takes to sell, for a couple of months or maybe a month or two, and you're going to be talking to them almost every day. So you get a good vibe on this person. The other thing I would ask them too is, if they have a huge team, which is completely fine, all right, is this the only time you're ever going to talk to them and you'll never hear from them again, and then some random person in the office that only works 9 to 5 is going to call you? You know what I mean? Is this going to be someone that, because you got to be able to get a hold of them at night, on the weekend, because real estate is nonstop. So this is someone, keep in mind, you're going to have a good, long working relationship to sell, probably the biggest asset you have. So is this someone that you want to work with and have a long standing, drawn out real estate transaction with you? You got to keep that in mind. Trust me, I've gone on appointments before, and my mom used to always tell me, you know what, if the girl's a pain now, she's going to be a pain when you marry her. She didn't say the exact words, she said it a lot, dirtier. But the thing is, right, if they're a pain now, you're not getting a good feeling, they're going to be a pain all the way throughout the transaction. So I've met with people before, clients, and said, you know what, I don't think we would be a good fit together, because I can tell, you're not going to work well with me. I'm not going to work well with you. We're going to be butting heads, all that, and rarely does that happen with me, but it has happened. I've walked away, because I'd rather sleep well at night, So keep that in mind as for sure. And just because someone's a nice person doesn't mean they're the greatest realtor ever either, but definitely, you know what, you don't want to end up with someone that's a pain the whole time, and then you go to closing, you can't get a hold of and all that. So definitely keep that in mind. So I hope this video was helpful. I'm a real estate agent in Northern Virginia and the state of Virginia. I can help you anywhere in the United States, refer you to somebody. I know I talk fast. If you got any other ideas for videos for us to talk about, we will definitely do that. So comment below, subscribe, like it. We'll see you at the top or on the top.